consider was the Shamsuddin. Okay, Shamsuddin Iltutmish. Shamsuddin Iltutmish. So, who had ruled from 1211 to 1236. So, he was again slave of the Aybak, slave of Kutubuddin Aybak. Right. So he had occupied the throne of Delhi in 1211. Right. So he was a very capable ruler and regarded as the real founder of Delhi Sultanate, because he had moved, or he had made Delhi the capital, right, in place of Lahore. And therefore, you can consider the real founder of Delhi Sultanate. It is the Shamsuddin Iltutmish. He saved Delhi Sultanate from the wrath of Genghis Khan, the Mongolian leader. Right? So he had saved Delhi Sultanate from the wrath of the Genghis Khan. Right? He introduced the silver coin called Tanka and the copper coin called Jital. He had organized the Ekta system and introduced the reforms in civil administration as well as in the army, right? So which had centrally paid and recruited, right? So central payment and recruitment was done by the that particular thing, right? So you can what happened of Aybak? So Aybak had died. Aybak died while playing a polo, right? So that is what on the record. Right? Probably he must have killed. Right? If you consider, or if you see the history, so most of the kings, right, or the rulers have been killed. Right? So type of killing may be different. Anyway, right? So I was talking about the reforms in the civil administration, right, as well as the administration of army. Then he had also set up an official nobility of the slaves, right? Slaves. So he wanted to establish the nobility of the slaves. So nobility, which is nothing but a quality of being noble in character, right? मराठी तुम्ही खानदानी हा शब्द म्हणू शकता, right? So slaves as nobility, or right, playing polo. Right. So that is the case you can always considering in this particular case. Right. So he had set up official nobility of the slaves, which was known as Chalisa, which is nothing but the group of. No, Gori was not killed by Prithviraj Chauhan. Right. So okay. That would be a different case. So I thought you are talking in the sense of battle, right? So I was talking about the Chalisa, or it is also called as Chahalgani, right? So Chalisa, it is a group of 40. So 40 slaves have brought together and formed a nobility, right? So then Kulu Banola. He had also completed the construction of Qutub Minar, which was started by Kutubuddin Aybak, right? So which was started by Aybak. He had also patronized the author, right, whose name was Minhaj as-Siraz, who had written Tabakat-e-Nasiri, Right? So this is what the functioning of Shamsuddin Iltutmish. And in 1236, the new what we can consider new ruler, right, who was the son of the Shamsuddin, whose name was Ruknuddin. So he was the son of Iltutmish, and he was crowned by uh, what you can consider. He was crowned by his mother. Right? So that is the case. But after the death of Shamsuddin Iltutmish, the Ruknuddin was crowned. Right. So, but he was deposed by his sister called Razia, who was the daughter of Iltutmish. Right. So, and Razia had become the Sultan. Right. So, Razia Sultana. Right. So that is the case you can always consider. So, what Shamsuddin have done. Right. So, as I said, he was the slave of Aibak. Right. So, occupied throne in 1211. Right. Then he was very capable ruler. So a capable ruler. He was a very capable ruler. He was regarded as the real founder of the Delhi Sultanate. Real founder of the Delhi Sultanate. And you can always consider. Then he made Delhi as capital. Delhi as capital, right? Instead of Lahore. He saved Delhi, Sultanate from Genghis Khan. You know what kind of strategy Genghis Khan had followed in his life, right? So he was always striking on the muscles, the power of the enemies, and he was always weakening the uh, strong points of the uh, enemies. And then he used to show, or he used to seem that he had tired and now he cannot go further. And when the enemy was unaware, right, and he would have uh, attacked, right, in such a way that many a times he won. So शत्रूची ताकद कमी करा, त्याला असं भासवा की तुम्ही थकलेला आहात, आणि पुन्हा असा एक ठोसा द्या की, right, if you are in the ring you can consider it as knockout. So that's kind of strategy Genghis Khan have. Right? So Genghis Khan was a Mongolian leader. Right. So from him, Delhi Sultanate was saved by Shamsuddin. He introduced. Shamsuddin introduced a silver coin. Right. Silver coin. Introduced a silver coin. Called Tanka, and a copper coin called Jital. Right. So Tanka and Jital. So he organized and further he introduced. Shamsuddin Iltutmish introduced reforms in civil administration as well as and army administration, right? And army, so which were centrally paid and recruited. Right? If anybody wants, you can have. Done. Okay. So next you can consider he set up an official nobility. त्याच्यामुळं स्लेव्स गुलामांना एक कुळ मिळालं. Right. So we can consider status nobility of slaves called Chalisa, right? Also known as Chahal Gani. That is a group of 40 slaves, right? So he had also completed construction of Qutub Minar, right? Further, he patronized an author. His name was Minhas Siraj, right? So who had written a book named as Tabaqat a Nasri. Right. Then next comes in, that is Ruknuddin. So who was Ruknuddin? Right. He was only for a year, right? Very few days. When he had gone out of Delhi, right, for rebellion in on another province called Awadh, right? So Rajia had gone against, right? So August to the Ruknuddin and acquired the throne. In fact, Shamsuddin Iltutmish wanted his daughter to rule, and he had already nominated it, but his wife don't want Rajia to rule, right? So that was the case. She had crowned her son, right? So Runkuddin was son of Shamsuddin Iltutmish. So he was crowned, crowned by his mother. After death of Iltutmish. But he was deposed by Razia. Right. So who was Razia? Razia was the daughter of, and then later on, who came on the power is Razia Sultana in the same year. So 1236 to 40. Fine. This is what you can consider about this particular dynasty. Fine. Anyway, I think we will stop here. In next session, we will consider.
Sir, show the first page of this lecture.
Okay. Okay, if anybody wants this one, you can have. Okay, go to the first one. See here, Muhammad bin Qasim. If someone feels that, here I have written Muhammad Ghaznavi, right? And at the time of I said Muhammad Ghazni, right? So don't worry. So it is name of the dynasty Ghaznavi, right? So you can write Muhammad Ghaznavi or Muhammad Ghazni. Right. Okay, finish. Then I will quit. I will have another session. Thank you, everyone.